And a very, very warm welcome along. I think something's haunted in the system there. It was working for Kanbei, and only Kanbei apparently. Let's see, Gemma, does yours get added to the list? Yes, yes it does. So, Gemma, you have queued up a Tyranitar. I do need to add Zapdos to the top of the list. I will get this done by hook or by crook, but I hope everyone is doing very, very well today. We are continuing on with the Mischievous Challenge. Everyone gets a free Pokemon, and then if you do want to add more, and we run out of Pokemon on the gift queue, then we'll reset the queue. If you want to add more, and we do have others on the queue, maybe you want to see it sooner, I don't know. Teeny tiny super chat, teeny tiny number of bits will give you the option. It's all in the pinned message at the top of the screen. So I hope everyone is doing very well. We were in the middle of the Mischievous run when we called it last time. Nah, Mischievous is pre-queue manager kind of thing, Gemma. And you're a HM friend, you have been for a very, very long time. I think you deserve an extra one. Same with Kanbei with, well, Kanbei Super Chats, £20 yesterday. So Kanbei can have 20 of them at the moment. Welcome in, Chad. I hope you're doing very well. And welcome in, Comrade Oddball. Typhlosion didn't do too badly. Unfortunately, Claire was the undoing of Typhlosion. I just need a quick sip of drink. It's very, very warm in here. I've got to have the window open. Showered this morning and forgot to turn the heating off afterwards. So it is a little bit of a sauna. Now, before we get on with the run, I have updated the scoring. Thank you for the £2 Super Chat, Kanbei, and for Articuno. Let's see, does that add itself to the list? Or has that broken as well? Who knows? No, that has broken. It's all breaking today. Let me see if I can figure out why. It's fine. So we will plonk Articuno on the list. I am just going to very quickly do a test of the Q command, see if that's working at the very least. Yeah, Kingdra was a very, very hard counter. I mean, it's one very long Pokemon name, but we will deal with it. It's working on Twitch perfectly. For some reason, YouTube is getting rid of spaces now. But yes, I've updated the point totals. I realised after doing a few more off-stream, we need some kind of better distinction. So instead of out of 25 points now, we are out of 100 points. So we get 4 points, one each for each of those plotline trainers. So we get the Slowpoke Rockets, Kimono Girls, Mahogany Rockets, and Radio Tower Rockets. We get 2 points for each rival battle. So Cherry Grove, Azalea, Burnt Tower, Goldenrod, and Victory Road. Each of the gym leaders, Faulkner through to Bugsy and Johto, gives 3 points. Kanto gym leaders, barring Blue, give 3 points as well. The Elite Four give 4 apiece for a total of 16. Blue gives 5, and then the 2 trainers where the credits play, so Red and Blue, give you 10 points apiece for a maximum of 100 points. The Super Chats will always jump the queue. That's how they work. They're 2 different systems. So I've got a Super Chat list, and then it gets appended to the SuperMON list at the very beginning. That's the way it works. Anyway, we're on Mischievous. Thunderbolt, Psychic, Pain Split, and Shadow Ball are our moves. And we have just, well, I say just, we defeated Whitney yesterday. We got quite far with Mischievous compared to where I thought we were. And now we can move on. On the road to Ecruteak City. It's very weird, actually, being on the road to Ecruteak so early on in a stream. I think this is the first time we've left a run mid-stream and we're just picking up where we left off. Although with some of the faster Classic Challenge mons, We're there in about 10 minutes, aren't we? Let's get ourselves the big hammer. Didn't mean to take these on, but they are both normal type trainers. I am midway through our next prereq for the SuperMON challenge as well. And I've got to be honest, this next one is very, very tough. Welcome in Mobile Gaming Chronicles over on Switch. Aerodactyl has been added to the list. So Aerodactyl is at the bottom of the list just after Tyranitar. We've got plenty of Pokemon on that queue at the moment. It's probably going to take us about 5 or 6 days to get through all of these already. I will be doing more streams at the weekend though with them. Welcome in Urban Huntsman, I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. And now we do need to remember that we aren't going like the clappers. We can take our bloomin' time. We just need to do the grind, we need to get to our level caps, and we need to play sensibly. Because when we don't play sensibly, that's when we get the issues. Nidoqueen and Nidoking should be fairly simple to at least get quite far. Aerodactyl is a very nice touch. I like Aerodactyl. It'll be interesting because it's got its Gen 1 TMs. It'll be interesting to see what moves it can get. Did we speak to the man staring at the stage? We have now. We get the raft and we get an extra point. Aerodactyl's my favourite dragon type as well, Kanbei. If we're going to hit a wall in the upcoming section of this challenge, it's either going to be Morty or it's going to be probably Jasmine. Thank you for adding Omastar to the queue. I think Omastar will perform particularly well. Now, there are 3 Pokemon at the moment that are off limits. Those are Parasect, which is the one I'm currently doing for a prereq, and then both Clefable and Gengar are already recorded and they're coming out as videos in the next week or so. So I would like to not do those particular Pokemon. And thank you for the quick attack, Mobile Gaming Chronicles. Let's get ourselves back to Ecruteak. Welcome in Die Gaming 777. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. We could potentially earn another point here as we go into arrival number 3. And thank you for the check-in as well, Mobile Gaming Chronicles. I coded that potentially as a replacement for Kim's grilled cheese because it wasn't working correctly. But I thought, why not keep it for me bloomin' self? We'll eliminate this Haunter. Zubat goes away as well. And Croconaur's going to be a... I should have Thunderbolted here, really, but it shouldn't make any difference. There we go, Rival 3 defeated. I think Mischievous would benefit, actually, from the physical special split, so it's probably better in Gen 4. Having special Shadow Ball with 25 more base power in your special compared to your physical ain't gonna be too bad. Let's get through this absolute slog of a gym. We'll use Shadow Ball in the early part, and then we'll swap to Psychic later. I'm very interested, actually, to see just how far we can take Mischievous. Because I know it'll hit a wall, it's just where that wall is. Let's engage Morty in battle. See how we get on. I'm just going to move these leader title cards to the correct part of the screen. Yeah, Gligar would be good, probably up until Glacier Badge, if it had a better moveset. But Gligar's moveset, nice crit there by the way, is not good. Mortar goes down, Fog Badge acquired, 20 points on the board. Pretty good stuff. So where are we off to next? Lighthouse, probably. I've got to remember that we actually have an electric type move. Thank you for adding Arbok to the queue, Christopher. Hopefully it will work. There we go. It was just having a moment earlier, wasn't it? I've always thought that Gligar was just added last minute anyway with its learn set. Thank you for the Mewtwo D1. See, I'm not an incompetent coder. I can just about do a queue for chat. Having an electric type move at this point in the run is not too bad either. Which back port are you thinking, Kanbei? Triple Mewtwo action from D1. If you're not subscribed to D1, what the hell are you doing with your life? Get on and do it. Honestly, you won't regret it. Salamence. Give me like 20 seconds. Maybe a little longer. I don't know if Salamence will be accepted by it. We can try it. But even if it's not accepted, I will add it to the queue. I just need to double check my GitHub. We should be good to go with it. There we go. Salamence is now compatible with the SuperMON code base. That one was nice and easy to do as well. I'm happy with that. Quadruple action when you learn Oras. To be fair, Mewtwo's probably going to destroy Oras. I'm very annoyed that YouTube is not putting the spaces in there anymore. They've changed something with how their chat's formatted. Over on the purple side, where you also get notified about people who you don't follow going live, it's still formatted correctly. We ran Mighty Aina, didn't we? Thank you for the star, me Benjamin. There we go. It's on a bit of a go slow, but it is working. Let's do a hill and let's cross the open seas. No, I don't think... Oh, there's... Are you Moniker of Monday? Yes, you are. I suppose we set the time to Sunday yesterday, so that makes sense. I don't want to count my chickens before they've hatched, but I do think we are guaranteed at least 26 points on this one, maybe 27. Actually, more likely 27, thinking about it. 30's going to be pushing it for Mischievous, because we've got to get through Jazz. But, as it stands right now, we're not in a bad place. So, let us now go into our next gym. Plonk Psychic into top spot for now. And we don't need to worry about Dynamic Punch, which is absolutely glorious. I did mention it at the very beginning of stream, but if you have just come in, we have updated the point system. I've done a few more of these off stream, and I realised the existing point system wasn't providing enough differentiation between Pokemon. So instead of 25 points now, we're out of 100. It's 1 point for each of the plotline trainers, or the 4 specified plotline key trainers, so Kimono Girls and then the 3 Rocket sections. 2 points each for the rival battles, 3 points each for the Johto gym leaders, 3 points each for all of the Kanto gym leaders except Blue, then 4 points for the Elite Four, 5 points for Blue, and then both Lance and Red give you the end credits, so they're 10 points each, for a total of 100. I've been prepared today. I even did a fancy transition in OBS for it. Let's beat up Chuck. Oh no, you've leered us. Whatever will we do? Oh shoot. I got arrogant there. Squidgy is synonymous with quality. No, it really isn't. Well, that's a bit of a turn up for the books. I was not expecting to go down there. Karma very much be like, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. And for some reason, the leaderboard isn't updating. Why is that happening? Oh, it's because I put Nidoking twice. That's on me. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, RNGesus does get us all eventually. Well, there's a will, there's a blooming way with this thing. I will go to my backup leaderboard. There we go. 30 points. Poor for Alligator stuck with 11 points. Because of Whitney. I did recalculate all the other points, by the way. Right, so we are moving on to Zapdos next. So let's see how quickly I can swap Pokemon. Because I have a feeling some of these might be rapid-fire resets. I'm not making a thumbnail for each of them. Kanbei, do you have a nickname, by the way, for the Zapdos? Zappy the Zapdos. Let us get Zappy the Zapdos on the screen. And what moves do we get? Well, we're definitely going to learn Thunderbolt. And Drill Peck. So that leaves 2 move slots free. What should we go for? Oh, Heat Wave would be brilliant if we could have it. Feels like Heat Wave it here actually at the moment. Just cracked open the window a little bit more. I'm blummin' boiling. We don't have anything for Jazz at the moment. Looks like our best ground type move would be Mud Slap. Goodness me. Light Screen's going to do nothing. Reflect could give us staying power, but we would be relying on Drill Peck to attack her. We don't really get many good special moves, do we? Yeah, I'm in agreement that Mud Slap might be what we have to do to cheese Jazz. What about our slot 4? Anything standing out? Stillwing could do work against the rock grounds. Then I think our first mandatory rock ground might be Bruno's Onyx. Fly is useless, honestly. Drill Peck's higher power and higher PP and higher accuracy. Oh, double team would be risky, but it could work. Fly in Gen 2 is crap compared to later Gen. Like, Gemma, if this was late Gen, I'd absolutely go for Fly. We only get one Mint Berry in Johto, I believe. So I think if we're having to rest, then we're going to go down in the time it takes us to wake up. I will just double check the Mint Berry. See if there's one that I'm not remembering. No, bloody hell. There's only 2 Mint Berry trees in the entire blooming game. You got one on Route 39, which is the one we get at Moo Moo Farm. And then you've got to go all the way to blooming Pewter City to get another Mint Berry. That's ridiculous. Is it just me that thought the Mint Berries were going to be a little bit more common in Kanto? Because if we had multiple Mint Berries, that would be perfect. What's Razorwind's accuracy? Absolutely not. And it's lower powered than I thought. Jeez. They definitely did not intend for people to play in one sitting. With the amount of bits and pieces that are on set days, it was absolutely made for playing an hour or two a day, if that, over the course of several weeks. No, changing the clocks for more berries is not allowed in my rule set. It's one of the overarching rules of all the challenges. I know that some other runners allow it, and it's perfectly valid. I just like to think of us doing these challenges at least throughout the course of one day, and only changing the clock for very specific items that you cannot get on that day. So I treat all the items as like a one, getting them all on the same day. So when I change the clock for the move tutor or for return or whatever, I will then not go and get extra berries from the trees. It feels against the spirit of the run. I think that's what it is. Because if we could just farm infinite mint berries, at the start of the Air Critique section, we could just keep going back and forth between that mint berry and have a mint berry for every single battle we do. It's kind of like if you allow one extra berry, you allow 1 million extra berries. Whereas at least with the held items that are type boosting, you can't stack them and they're not consumable. I really, really wish we had a fire type move. Just some kind of coverage. Because that would deal with the ice types. And it would deal with steel types. I think Steel Wing might be our best option. Backport Heatwave, you won't tell anyone. See, if I'd have known you wanted Heatwave on it, I could have done that overnight. Oh, we didn't get Bleeding Mud Slap, did we? Let's just moonwalk our way back into the lab. There we go. Now, we do have legendary stats, but that is balanced by the fact we're in the slow experience group. Welcome in, Teddy Theodore. I hope you're doing very, very well on this Wednesday. Now, because we do have, quite frankly, ridiculous attacking and defensive stats, I'm probably going to play this one a little bit more offensively than I otherwise should. Good morning, Malasamus. I hope you're having a brilliant day. A lot of the reason I want to go all-out offense is because I'm playing Parasect for the next pre-recorded video. And that one is a very defensive Pokémon. The Candy Jar is coming into play once we get to Blue. I found in the brief bit of testing I did, we were hitting the level cap anyway pretty quickly with a solo run. So we might as well just gain that experience manually. You sense a squidgy-like entity? Where? Tell me so I can run away. I'm having a brilliant Wednesday, thank you, Teddy. Even better now that I have the company of all you wonderful people in the chat. Right where a squidgy-shaped entity is, that gives me no direction at all. Up, down, left, right, north, south, east, west. In a parallel dimension. No, I think we can probably just race through this early game anyway. I mean, what's Falconer going to be able to do to us? Nothing. What's Bugsy going to be able to do to us? Nothing. Whitney's where we have our first potential risk. Oh no, the squidgy-like entity's in the same physical location of me. I'd better run. I'm hiding in the Pokémon Center. Now this little git with his Spearow could have been the bane of my life. I know Zapdos's learn set is not good. Makes up for it with raw power though. Let's take on Falconer, first gym leader, flying type specialist. Also specializes in stealing his father's Pokemon. And going down in 2 hits. 3 points on the board. We didn't get our 3 points there for... Or our 2 points, I should say, for Rival 1. Let me add those manually and figure out what the hell's gone on with that at some point. Jigglypuff has a brilliant learn set. Lickitung has a brilliant learn set as well. At least for these kind of challenges. Lickitung and Jigglypuff both suffer from terrible early game moves in the classic form of solo running. I appreciate this place is called Sprout Tower, but I would have liked to have seen at least a single Oddish in here. Our moves are Drill, Drill Peck, Mud Slap, Sail Wing actually, and Underbolt. Shiny Bunnelby, Furfrou, Magikarp, and Froakie today. How on earth did you catch the Froakie? Those things are terrified of people. Just going to have a nibble on some more foliage here. Level 12 acquired. We get the Lantern. I am definitely a Froakie, you're not wrong. And we also get the Escape Rope. Prosecure Berry, might need that for Jazz. Forgot the egg. I hate Togepi. Well, I don't. I actually kind of like Togepi. But I hate that it is a thing here. Very fair. I'm glad you noticed it beforehand, Gemma. Now we are absolutely in One-Shot City at the moment. I don't think that's going to change any time soon. We would not like a Slowpoke tail, thank you very much. How many points do we think, by the way, for the Zapdos? Where will we get? Where will we come unstuck? And will it be my fault, RNG's fault, or just being outmatched? Yeah, I reckon Jazz is probably fairly accurate for this. I think if we get past Jazz, we have a good chance of getting at least to Claire, and if we can then one-shot her her Dragonair, then we'll be comfortably up to maybe Karen. Zapdos will have a fairly good time against Lance. We'll get the second Purus Cure Berry if we end up using one at Claire. I mean, what are the chances of Blizzard actually hitting? Is it 70% though? Or is that just what they want you to think so that you feel terrified? I'd rather not think about Alolan Ninetales than that bloody Iron-Tail. It was depressing. Can't believe I didn't think to use Ice Beam to get the freeze. Real big brain fart there. And that were entirely on me. We got a point, by the way, in Slowpoke. Well. Shush. Did you hear that? Not sure if it came through. Blooming car horn outside then. So I'm back to having sauna-like temperatures. You know it's warm in here when even I am complaining about the heat. Hive Badge, another 3 points on the board. We're up to 9. We'll do a very quick heal. And we will move on to Rival 2, where we'll Drill Peck a Ghastly. We will then Drill Peck a Croconaw. Goodness me. And we get through the last Pokemon. I was distracted by the beeping outside. And anyway, we're not against the clock, so it's absolutely fine, maybe, question mark, hopefully. When I next go back to a classic run, my muscle memory is going to be so banjaxed because of these. The beeping, I can hear it all the time. Maybe I have titinus? No, tinnitus. Titinus is something completely different. It's time for a quacking battle indeed. Yeah, oh wait, I can teach TMs. Oh wait, I need that TM. You heard it here first, folks. Ryu likes muscles. So if you're a muscly person, get in touch with Ryu. If you got buns of steel, maybe. I've just got buns of lard. It's breaking news, don't you know? I am the very definition of somebody who walks, who goes boom barda everywhere I go. As opposed to like pew 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 for somebody light and graceful. You have to remember, Ryu, that I am the single densest person on the planet. My one brain cell is very, very lonely. We don't really. Then I don't really talk to many people. I think in the average week I must speak to about 5 people in total. I'm not really a social person for the most part. Let's get ourselves back to Goldenrod, where we will be about to take on Whitney. She's a normal type specialist. Hopefully she'll specialise in not winning too. Goodbye, Clefairy. Goodbye, Miltank. Whitney was not Kritzny there. She was a bit shh-ny, wasn't she? 14 points in total so far. The weird tree did not like the squirts bottle, so we'll run from it. No need to do any kind of safe acrobatic strats on these runs. So we will take full advantage of Ecratique's Pokémon Center. I like the HM items as well. Fun fact, the rental abra is called the Fart Jar in the code. You had to take a call and missed Whitney. Well, she was a bit shit. No, I meant to go she's a bit shitty there. I do apologise if you're offended by the language that fell from my mouth. She was a bit shitty, is what I was trying to say. But let's be honest, she was a bit, wasn't she? She got a single rollout off. I know, the danger of swearing like a sailor in real life has come to haunt me. You're offended by how I said fold instead of fell. Fair. I am being haunted today. Had a dream, actually, in the 3 and a bit hours. I was up again at 2:30 this morning, by the way. So, you're getting end of day squidge, and end of day squidge is kind of a bit weird. But yeah, I had a dream last night about Ursaring evolving into Nidorino again. I was haunted by the code of backporting. Regular Squidge at least has some kind of filter and understands to think about the words before they leave the mouth area. More so than you'd think, Ryu. Far more so than you'd think. You gotta think, for many a year, if I ended up saying the wrong thing, I would get the fine of the TV regulator of this country being thrust upon me. Ostensibly, yeah, regular Squidgy edits everything in real time a lot of the time. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, it's fine. I have been thinking about just going non-PG on the streams. Keeping all the videos completely family friendly, but not censoring myself entirely on streams. I love Drill Peck as well, Chad. Not as much as I love your company, but I love Drill Peck. Scyther Pinsir and Yan Mega would not stand a friggin' chance against Zapdos. So you'll have to come up with something worse. Oh yeah, I love just leaving you seen hanging, ghosting him. It's the only time where it is ethical to ghost someone. You've ghosted plenty of people. Well, you are haunting with your personality. It was meant as a compliment, maybe. I'll let you choose how to interpret it. Fog badge, 20 points. We're a fifth of the way to maximum pointage. I think as well, if you do want to get any more Pokemon on the queue, especially if you've not had yours, do it now if you're in the chat. Because I won't open the queue now for the next couple of streams. Friggin' hell, are we at an hour already? We'll have to take a break in a minute or two. Because Twitch will have adverts. How has it been an hour already? Like, genuinely, it feels like I've only just sat down. Twitch, never heard of it. It's, I might need to put up a goal, you know, for being able to unmoderate my language. Because I nearly said something a little bit unsuitable for pre-watershed in this country, shall we say. Like, pre-watershed in this country, you can justify a bastard and a bitch, but there are certain words you cannot say. You know what? Sod it. Goal gone up. If we hit this goal, I'm just going to be non-PG for the foreseeable future on stream. I don't like the goal thing, but it's tradition. And by the way, it's not 5, it's 1. If I get 1, I'll swear, because I bloody need to today. I really don't like all these incentives to monetize streams. Like, the reason I have the paid for on the queue is so that if somebody is desperate, to stop them going on and on in chat. To put it bluntly, there is an alternative option. But it's one of those, I do it mostly for the free queue. Free queue actually sounds like it could be rude. Sounds like a bit of an insult, doesn't it? Hey, free queue. I don't know if I whinged about this the other day as well. But on my chat now, I cannot clear a notification on YouTube. Because it is telling me over and over again, change to members only, change to members only. No, I'm not going to change to members only. Absolute shambles of a streaming service. But then Twitch isn't much better at the moment, is it? I am far too soft to go on Kick. Exactly, it's not fair on the non-members at all. I might occasionally bring back the occasional recording session stream. But for new runs, the ones that go out as the prereqs, that don't go out as the prereqs, they'll always be available to everyone. Yeah, Kick is where the dickheads live, let's be fair. I'm not saying that everybody who streams on Kick is a dick, but that is where a lot of the dicks live. "23 points acquired." Now, if you are on Twitch, we are going to be taking a very, very brief advert break. YouTube censoring your swears, fuck your life. Thank you for the £2 super chat. I think because you've done two £2 in a row, the overlay doesn't know what to do. But yes, we have reached the top of the hour. So Twitch, we have adverts. We'll try and get through them in about 3 minutes. YouTube, I'm going to stay with you. Because I'm going to try and not do the BRB screens. You're going to hear me stretch and stuff in the background. So I won't be moving. But I will still have the life. The life? Where the fuck did the life come from? I'm going through my brain right now, and I cannot, for the life of me, think of why I said I will still have the life. As if I was going to perish on stream. It's one of those days today. Yeah, I do need a good old bloody stretch at the moment. Have you seen in ZA the Perish song text? It's bloody brilliant. Twitchbot, get to fuck. ZA is a new game by Pokémon. I'm British, so I call it Zed. British is anybody who comes from the island just north of France, west of Denmark, and Norway and Sweden, to the right of Ireland, although some people who are from Northern Ireland will class themselves as British as well, and that is entirely their choice. No sausages left. Oh no. I say I'm British, and then I come out with the most Australian-sounding "oh no" I think I've ever done. I'm not from Jersey, although an ex of mine, when we first met, did assume I was from the Channel Islands with my voice. I'm not saying that that person in question was a cow, but I definitely didn't love them for heifer and heifer. Come on, that one was good. Don't delete the message and then boo me, Kanbei. Boo yourself. Christ on a bike. Oh, fuck off, Tentacle. You like both muscles and puns? Then you'll love me. I'm full of puns and I've got muscles somewhere. I did actually used to be fairly muscly when I fenced. Bit lopsided though. Because you can't dual wield legally in fencing. It didn't stop us. You can say boo earns to yourself and then it's fine. Oh, what do you want, Abra? We don't do HM friends on these runs. You find me amusing, I've heard that a lot in my life. Usually followed by a thinly veiled insult. Pringles are delicious. You live near Cambridge, so you're a southerner. I haven't been down those parts for a very long time. I will say, when you first joined the chat, Ryu, you do give off a British aura. Schrodinger's Midlander. I like that. For all my time commuting between north and south of this country, I have spent a criminally short amount of time in the Midlands. Like a genuinely, shockingly small amount of time. I think the last time I spent anything more than just a passing through at Birmingham Interchange when I was getting the coach was back in 2006 when I visited the Snowdome in Tamworth, or near Tamworth. I dread to think how you speak, Ryu. That is a good point, actually, though. I have little... This is going to make me sound like a right fucking weirdo, but I have little voices that I think of for each of you when you talk. I'm not going to try and imitate them because I cannot do voices. But it's that weird situation where you all obviously know how I sound, because otherwise how would we be communicating right now? But nobody knows how anybody else sounds. I've got you as very deep voiced, Ryu, for some reason. Like you speak in the very, very low registers. Kind of calmly as well. Welcome in, buddy. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday today. Oh! I need to fix that with the air balloon. Shit. Turns out you can use the air balloon indoors. I am bi many things, but I am not bilingual, so I do not speak Japanese. Read into that however you want. Can barely speak English. We don't actually have anything for these, do we? Because Mudslap's not gonna be good. Mudslap's gonna be fucking fantastic. My way to deal with Surge is to not deal with him until very, very late on. That's a bath plug and not any other kind of plug. I think bullshit is the natural language of most human beings. And I don't mean that in the lying sense. I mean that in the sense of just not really having the correct words to come out. Oh, shit. We got crit. What a bastard. We jinxed the friggin' blizzard, didn't we? RNG it is. RNG does call Zapdos home and Mischievous home. Right, who's next? You are correct, you do see no Meganium, it's not been requested. Kanbei, do you want me to do Articuno now, or do you want a break with the birds and I can go to the next one in the list? It's entirely your call, Kanbei. It's your choice whether you want to jump the queue or not. Oh, bloody hell. Let's get the right Pokemon on screen. You want to go to the next one? Let us then get... It's because I was typing Articuno to generate the next SuperMON. Who is the one after that? Arcanine. At least with Arcanine, we won't have any problems with Jazz. Deadpool, do you have a nickname for Arcanine, by the way? Seeing as Arcanine was your choice. I'll tell you what, I'll do Articuno as the first run of the next stream. That's probably going to be over the weekend. So if you aren't about, or you don't think you're going to be about, I will just do Articuno on the next stream when you're in. But yeah, Deadpool, if you do have a nickname for the Arcanine, now is the time to say it if you are in. If not, I will throw it over to our #1 Arcanine fan, Gemma Barnes. These are the moves, by the way, that we have to play with. I think Arcanine is a very, very good Pokémon. Welcome in, Alajango. Let me take you through the new points system. So, all of the plotline trainers, Slowpoke Rockets, Kimono Girls, Mahogany Rockets, and Radio Tower Rockets are worth 1 point apiece if we get through all of them, for a total of 4 points. Then we have the rival battles. Now, those rival battles are 2 points apiece. Cherry Grove, Azalea, Burnt Tower, and Goldenrod City. All of the Johto Gym leaders are worth 3 points apiece, that's 24 points. Kanto leaders, barring Blue, are also worth 3 points. The Elites 4, they're worth 4 apiece. Then we have Blue worth 5 points because he's much harder. The 2 battles where you see the end credits are Lance and Red, so you get 10 points each for a total of 100. Arcanine did get shafted there. It doesn't look like Deadpool is in, so Gemma, what would you like Arcanine to be called? can get the points off screen again now. Barker is a very good nickname. Like Linda Barker. Not Barq. Or Ronnie Barker. Why didn't I think of Ronnie Barker first? Let's take a look at these moves, shall we? See what we're playing with. So, Flamethrower is going to be a must, isn't it? I think Flamethrower at extreme speed, maybe Headbutt over extreme speed just for PP purposes. Because we have 110 in attack. That's probably going to do quite a lot of damage, even with a Headbutt. Or do we go for Body Slam? Because Body Slam's 85. Extreme Speed's good for priority, but we do have 95 in speed. And the only priority moves that are worth anything, really, are the Hitmonchan's Mach Punch. I can't think of any other priority moves that would knock us out. So it feels a little bit vestigial holding on to it. Blue's Arcanine does have extreme speed. And then we've got a few rockets with quick attack. And obviously any other rats that we see. Sunny Day might come in handy, actually. For Claire especially. I think because we're weak to Surf and two of the leaders have Surf, we should go for the Sun. Yeah. Yeah, because we won't have anything great for Claire's Dragonair. Because Flamethrower is going to take care of any Steel types we come across. Crunch will take care of any Ghost Poisons. Or we could go for Dragon Breath. Then it's only 60 power. Which I suppose would be 120 against Dragonair. You know what? We will try Dragon Breath. Let's see how far we get with these moves. I'm going to be using the streams, by the way, as practice for pre-recorded videos. So expect to see some of the Pokemon we've done as prereqs, hopefully cleaned up. Because if I can get the knowledge on stream, it means I am more likely to be able to complete the run on first, second, third, or whatever try on videos. Like this Parasect run I'm doing on the video. I'm on attempt number 2 at the moment. And that video is looking to be particularly long. Exactly, with slightly less swearing. Only slightly, because I'm not swearing too much yet. I think the start of this challenge should be fairly simple. I was surprised Parasec's got past Falconer as well. But stranger things have happened. I was even more surprised we got past Birdkeeper Abe. I forgot to code in removing completed runs from the queue. So we still have the full queue at the moment. And our points actually added for Rival 1 this time. Progress has been made. We are joining the technological age. Why is it that when we don't need Wild Hoppip, we encounter them? And I'm not going to whinge about being able to get some free experience. Into the gym we go. Sora 2 is still a bit wank, really, isn't it? I've let curiosity get the better of me and generate pictures on Sora just to see what they look like, and they're like, you can tell that they're not real. They're like the botched boob job of the picture world. Like, you can pretend that they're all real, but actually they're very fake. What's the point if they ban nudity? He's not wrong. I think I read somewhere, actually, in the news that ChatGPT is enabling an adults mode at some point. For God's sakes. Like, why? If you are that desperate for erotica, find something. Just find something someone's written. There's something for everybody. I have been open, though, on this channel about the use of AI that I did to help me learn to code in assembly initially. Like, that to me is not entirely unethical usage of AI. Because the documentation for assembly is not the best. And I think as a teaching aid, it's not a bad idea. But to get it to do everything for you, that's where I think the issues come in. And also, if you're taking away from human jobs, then it's definitely something bad. That's the only thing that I regret about learning via ChatGPT. Because at that point I was completely unaware of where the training data came from and the fact that people hadn't consented to it being used. Thank you for the tackle, Mobile Gaming Chronicles. I think they kept it very hush-hush in the beginning, didn't they? There's probably thousands, if not tens of thousands, of pieces of data that I put in to various forum posts over the years. Exactly, learning from copyrighted code does leave not only a big ethical dilemma, but a big legal dilemma as well. I also don't understand people who are on YouTube that use AI to generate every bit of their content. Like from video to thumbnail to everything. Because I enjoy curating the thumbnails. Especially for our classic runs. Going around finding the right free stock images. Or in a lot of cases, going out and taking a picture of something and using it as the background behind Johto. I really enjoy that part of the video making process. Because it's a little touch that 99% of people won't notice. But I know that I did it. And I know that it makes the thumbnail look slightly better. It's the same with all of this stuff with the overlay. A lot of time, effort, and patience went into coding every last bit of this overlay. A lot of work with Dan, a lot of work with Snowy, a lot of work with a lot of very, very intelligent and clever people who are also compassionate people who gave up many hours of their lives to help me get started with something a little bit more professional than I had initially. And if you use AI for that, you miss the human touch. Well, I wouldn't have formed the friendships I did if I'd have gone all in on the AI with content creation. And that's a worry, actually, that I don't see many people talking about. The lack of human contact with people becoming more and more dependent on different AI services. Because even me, somebody who is very limited with the old social battery, I still enjoy talking to people and I still enjoy that interaction. Because no matter what they say, AI for the most part is very sycophantic. It will tell you what you want to hear as opposed to what you may or may not need to hear. Which in the heat of the moment, bloody brilliant. Afterwards though, probably not the best thing for you. Absolutely, AI is a yes bot. And aren't there those things called AI hallucinations where it'll just make up bullshit and then say it's real? People will think it's good for using it for therapy until they then see an actual therapist. Well, I think it's common knowledge here on the channel that I've been in therapy now consistently for the last, call it 9 months. I'm about at the end of my current course of therapy. And without that kind of one-to-one time every week or so with somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about, I would have really, really gone down a bad path with my mental health this year. I'm very lucky in my area. I referred for therapy, and within 4 weeks my course of therapy had started, and I had 2 interim sessions in the meantime. And that was all through the NHS. 6 points, by the way. We did get an extra point from Slowpoke Well. I do feel like a lot of people don't take mental health seriously enough, though. Not only other people's, but their own as well. Because your mental health is just as important as your physical health. 9 points after defeating Bugsy. Leah into Water Gun. Very clever there, rival. One of the smartest plays I think I've ever seen him do. Up to 11 we go. I think, by the way, folks, I have a very free weekend coming up. So I might be able to do the double. You're absolutely right there, Kanbei. Society does not talk about mental health. My old manager at the department, actually, said he admired my ability to... or what's the word I'm looking for? Not stand up for myself, but something along those lines. There's a very specific term, self-advocate. And the fact that I would say to him, mate, I need a day off. I have hit a point with my mental health where I just need to recoup for 24 extra hours. He said I was the only person who did that. Absolutely not, Gemma. 100% not. Mental health is not the new bad back. And also the bad back thing is fucking bullshit. People do suffer from bad backs. It's not an excuse. Like, mental health is very, very important. And a lot of people have been struggling for a very long time with their mental health. So we need to destigmatize it. Thank you for the clip, Mobile Gaming Chronicles. I think that was my first clip in about 7 months. Also, Gemma, I hope you didn't think I was shouting at you then. I got a little bit animated and a little bit louder than I thought. So only looking back at the peak on the microphone there that was like, shit, my voice went loud. But yeah, mental health is something that everyone needs to do some introspection at least once every month or so. Ideally more than that. And advocating for yourself is so goddamn important. I know a couple of people are offended by goddamn, so I do apologise if you're offended by it, but I feel very passionately about that. I'm glad the video appointment went well, and I am very glad actually, Gemma, that they are, at least for that one, not making you go in. Because that journey cannot be good for your mental health. Circling back to mental health here. So, something like that. Do we have a full heal to get rid of this? Yes, we do. I think public sector people have it just as difficult these days when it comes to time off. The new deal that the civil service had is not good from an employee's standpoint. At long fucking last, Gemma, somebody is listening to you. I am so happy that somebody is actually taking the time to realise that they don't just send you on courses, they don't just make you go in, because that's not right for you. Like, one size fits most does not mean one size fits all. Because there will be something perfect out there for you to do. I'm glad you've got the time to watch a stream at work, Cambe. Your presence, like everybody else in chat, all of your presences are always appreciated. Everybody on the VOD as well, don't think I've forgotten about you. You are just as appreciated. Let me know, actually, if you're watching on the VOD and you've made it this far. Congratulations for making it. How long's that? 2 hours and 38 minutes into whatever the fuck is happening today. Burn the cow, roll at misses, we get the badge and 14 points. Another gym leader down. Arcanine is not doing too badly at all. Let's talk to the eavesdropping bitch. She'll give us a squirty bottle. And just a reminder, we have stream tomorrow instead of Thursday this week. And then we also have an extra video on Friday this week as well. So we've got our classic solo challenge coming out for Halloween on Thursday the 30th. That is going to be Darkrai. And then on Friday, on Halloween, we have our first SuperMON video. And you might want to clear some time. It's over an hour long. Oh, it is Thursday tomorrow. Bugger. No, this is my second stream in a row, isn't it? So tomorrow we have Darkrai coming out. And then Friday we have Gengar's SuperMON video. Then we'll probably go live Saturday, Sunday, one or both of those days. And then it's back to videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank you for your very kind words there, Teddy. We definitely have a lot of interesting discussion. One thing actually I was talking about with my therapist, because I do talk about all you lovely people, is I am very, very closed off and private about a lot of myself on stream. And especially more so in the videos. And I feel like I do want to open up a little bit more. Not all the way. Let's not run before I can walk. But I think, especially on stream, because we talk to each other in real time, I think it's nice to have that chat and not just be the vaguely anonymous voice in the void. We haven't had much food talk this stream. I had a large dinner before coming on air today. I had sausage mash, peas, well, petit pois peas, and broccoli. Chat very much does respect my privacy, and I appreciate that more than you will ever know. Let's get an extra point from the Kimono Girls. Like, there are certain parts about my personal life that I do like to keep very, very quiet. Like, I never talk about my relationship on stream. Or in my videos. That's because I want to respect my other half's privacy there. Like, we did just celebrate an anniversary. 14 bloody years. With the same person. Saying it out loud, actually, 14 years is ridiculous. Meal deal stocks are down. Had to go to One Stop for an overpriced imitation meal deal. I actually think what One Stop do should be illegal. Because they are literally just Tesco, but under a different name so that they can cost more. And that is the biggest pile of beeswank I have seen when it comes to the Cozzy lives in this country. Why are we getting hidden power? We can't see shit. We'll get the elixir. Make our way back to Extra City. Cajun chicken and chips, enjoy. You can vote with your wallet, but if they're out of stock in Little Tesco, and I really just want a sweet chili chicken wrap, and a Twix, and a Pepsi Max, and One Stop has them, I would not have the self-control to go, no, I'm not going to get it from One Stop. And I also don't think it's unfair to say that a lot of the convenience stores are in the less well-off places in the UK. And a lot of them are in places... I didn't mean to press crunch there. And a lot of them are in places where people don't have the funds or the mobility to get to a bigger supermarket. Exactly, you can't vote with your wallet when it's your only option. It's either pay through the nose or don't eat at all. I'm just longing for the good times for everybody at this point. I feel like we've had a couple of decades ostensibly of tough times now. At least all of my adult life, there's always been some crisis going on. And it's a very millennial into early Gen Z thing, and now even getting into later Gen Z, that we haven't known the good times in adulthood. My tab just crashed. It does feel that way sometimes, Kanbei, doesn't it? I can't eat duck. Can't digest it. Exactly, Kanbei. I will ignore what you said, Benjamin. Your secret's safe with us. I don't like getting political on stream, really, but sometimes the conversation just naturally steers that way, doesn't it? And, like, it's not unfair to say that we should have had something back from the banking crisis. The brilliant thing about me being dyslexic is that it would take me, because that was a 3-line message, it would take me about 10 seconds to read it. I didn't put the bloody mint berry on, did I? Doesn't matter. Iceland did do it right. Talking of Iceland, I had an Iceland delivery mid-recording this morning. Completely forgot I ordered it late last night. I do love the online deliveries for being able to bulk buy stuff. Well, I'm not going to be able to carry a 48 pack of shit tickets home with me. But if somebody is bringing it on a van, absolutely. I want to be able to wipe my ass for years. I'm like, why not get 27 litres of Pepsi Max? Let's put Flamethrower back in top spot for now. Iceland is fantastic for bulk buying. I've tried with my cat to get him to use the litter tray, but because he was outdoors and abandoned for 3 years, at the very least, he now just refuses to go inside. Otherwise, we would be adding cat litter to that. Iceland's deals feel like they've not updated them since before 2022. A lot of Iceland's prices actually feel better than most other supermarkets. Especially when you get their own brand stuff. Now, they have definitely gone up in price, but not as much as Tesco, Asda, Marks, Waitrose. I want to get a chest freezer. We've got this little under the stairs area in the house where you can't really do anything, so I want to put a freezer there. Yeah, the fresh stuff is very expensive. They have good deals on frozen veg, though. I'll give them their credit there. I went through years of food burnout, and I've just rediscovered green vegetables, and it's the best thing ever. Like, I'm on a real veg kick at the moment. Heron, if you've got one near you, is good for a lot of cheap and cheerful food as well. I actually prefer some frozen veg, like broccoli. I prefer that's fresh. Because you all know me, I'm autistic as fuck. So any kind of difference in texture freaks me out. So having the consistent texture of frozen broccoli makes it much more palatable. So my other half went down to the little Tesco a couple of days ago. Well, about a week ago, actually. Because we'd run out of peas. And in little Tesco, I'm going to get the exact price up, actually. Because this pissed me off no end. In Big Tesco, a 1 kilogram bag of petit pois peas is £1.85. In the little Tesco, it was a 545 gram bag for £3.10. The absolute cheek of them to do that. So we ended up going down to the little Heron a little bit further down instead, where it was £1.60 for a kilogram bag. I like a good Belgian bun as well. They're £1.80 at the moment, which is still a rip-off in Big Tesco. £2 bloody 10 in Little Tesco for the exact same thing. One of our dangerous battles is now complete. 23 points because we paralysed the Poliwrath. Tell you who does do a good Belgian bun. Lidl's. I like Lidl. They're my I need fresh food supermarket. I do not have a Waitrose near me, annoyingly. Otherwise, I'd be going there. I think my nearest Waitrose is about 45 minutes away by car. Even longer via pub. Actually, no, it's quite a quick route, so about the same via public transport. You're getting a nearby Lidl next year. You will bloody love Lidl. I grew up in a part of Manchester which didn't have a Lidl for the longest time. And then as soon as I moved out, they've bloody built 3 of them. I prefer Lidl over Aldi as well. I feel like Aldi is trying to have that air of pretension about it now. Pretentiousness. They're trying to become the M&S of the discount world. I think YouTube might be having issues with chat. I don't know, you don't have Twitch, Gemma. So if it says an error and I've not read it, then just keep sending it until it comes through. We're not at another hour already, are we? How the friggin' hell are we at another hour? Self-care is important, so I am going to do another stretch. Twitch folks, there are going to be more adverts now. Going to keep the pre-rolls off for this stream. So please do be aware of volumes and all that fun stuff with the adverts. Let me know what adverts you get as well if you're not subscribed. We will carry on with the run in 3 minutes. I'm going to keep talking here on YouTube as well, though. I'm enjoying doing that. I'm trying to avoid having the BRB screen at the moment. But how are we all feeling about the SuperMON format? I don't think I've properly sat down and asked you all yet. I know it's nearly 3 PM already, and it still feels like 4 PM for my body clock. I'm going to mention this in an upcoming video, but a big part of the reason why I'm enjoying SuperMON is because at this point, any Pokemon we do with the classic challenge run format, we're going to know how well or badly it does before we've played it. We've done so many of those challenges. What is it, about 300 in total? That I feel like there's not much more to learn. And even if the wider audience doesn't take the SuperMON challenge, as long as all of you lovely people out there who come into the streams keep me company while I'm playing video games, if you all enjoy it, that's all I really care about overall. Because it could be, from a business decision, one of the worst ideas I've ever had, pivoting my focus away from classic challenge running. But I feel like it's coming to the end of its natural life cycle. That's why I'm trying to find a format I like with the gym leader challenges as well. And I think the way to do it is to not be against the clock anymore for a large part of it. The point system to me has been very, very fun. And we can transfer this scoring system over to the gym leader challenges. So have 1 point per key trainer. Have the 2 points for the rivals, 3 for the gym leaders, etc. Because that, I think, is a much fairer reflection as well on a Pokemon's abilities. Not too long left of the Switch adverts, and then we'll carry on. And are there any backports you would all like me to bring over to this format as well? The obvious one for me is Zangoose, but I'm not going to do Zangoose twice in a week. Ooh, funny you should mention Raging Bolt there, Benjamin. We are back on Twitch, by the way, so we will carry on the run. Because Raging Bolt is actually one of our classic challenges that's coming out in November. So we can definitely do the classic challenge in November. And then the SuperMON challenge in one of our November streams. Don't worry, the only reason I know it's Raging Bolt is because I backported it. Although the Raichu would be fun. Did we ever get around to playing that? I can't remember. I wish I could say I remember every single run we've done. But we've done over 300 of the bloody things at this point. I am going to consider... Oh yeah, it was the Cheese Learn Set one. I'm going to try and bring the SuperMON format to other generations as well. I'm not that familiar with the language that Gen 3 is written in, but I think SuperMON could be fun there. No, that was me with the Cheese Learn Set. I think it'd just be a stream for that, so just exclamation mark. Let's think how I'd have formatted it. Let's try that. See if the bot has a whinge. Might not do anything at all, knowing our bot. No matching board. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Raichu Alola 1:15:03 on stream. On the 30th of June, we did that one. Oh, bugger off YouTube Studio. YouTube Studio's having a whinge at me asking people to like the stream. So if you are here and you haven't hit the like button, please do get YouTube Studio off me bloody back about it. Every so often it's popping up with a little notification going, meh, 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 meh. Members only like the stream, all that crap. Like, let me just stream in peace. I create content in spite of the nitty-gritty of the content creation world. Yep, how can we grab more money from your audiences? Like, you all know me, I would not give a flying fuck if you all left the channel membership because you didn't have the money or didn't want to spend that money on me anymore. Same with the super chat, same with the gift memberships. All I care about is you all having fun. Anything else is a bonus. Ad revenue and YouTube Premium revenue is more than sufficient to keep everything going. I appreciate everyone who does spend money on the channel, but at the same time, I'd never ever expect it. Because especially these days, money's hard to come by. I know it is a terrible business model, but I'd much rather keep hold of my morals and keep hold of my own personal ethics about it than have to worry about, oh, am I going to get X amount of super chats this stream? Am I going to get Y number of people joining the channel membership? Because it doesn't matter to me if you've got a green name, a grey name, or any other coloured name. Or if you've got that badge or not on Twitch. You've taken your time out out of your day, and you're choosing to spend it with me, and that in and of itself is so fucking humbling. Like, the fact that people want to spend time with me, seeing what I do, hanging out, it's the best feeling in the world. Because you all could choose to do anything with your days. And even on the streams where there aren't as many people in as there used to be, there's still so many people hanging around with us that I don't mind whether it's 100 people, 10 people, 1 person. Just the fact that anyone's taking any time at all to have a little chat, to have a little hangout, it's brilliant. I know that when I did the occasional bit of working from home, Kanbei, I'd have a stream up in the background. I say the occasional bit of working from home. The occasional bit of working from home in a corporate setting. That's not selfish at all, I don't think. Like, if you have to pay to get interaction, that's not fun. I would never want to be somebody with 100,000 plus people in stream, because I'd feel guilty as fuck not being able to read everyone's messages. Exactly, it does feel like a transactional relationship if you have to literally make a transaction for interaction. And there are times, especially when I used to have chat on stream when I streamed, if I realised that I'd missed messages, I'd feel so guilty. Thank you for the bits, Mobile Gaming Chronicles. They are very much appreciated. And you get a Bellsprout GIF for your bits. I hope you find that a very fair trade. Bellsprout is awesome. I do like Bellsprout. No, we've got to do half the rockets before we go up there. I don't know what this playlist is I've got playing in my ears via Spotify, but it is not good. There we go, I'll put this one on instead. I think as well now we are guaranteed to get 33 points at minimum. Claire's going to be tough, but I'm hoping Dragon Breath will do the trick. Oh, we're out of flamethrowers. We'll just have to body slam instead. There was a universe, actually, where we could have gone down there with Tri-Attack. Sometimes, Gemma, with the amount of workload that work coaches have, little things like that can easily slip through. Like, work coaches see hundreds of people each week, and to get every fine detail is very difficult. Not impossible, but the occasional brain fart does happen. Especially with how the internal systems work at Universal Credit. They are not exactly the most forthcoming with information. Notes, you can only have 3 notes pinned at any one time. So if something's fallen off the notes list, then it's much harder to know. A little bit touch and thingy bob there at Rival 4, but we did make it through. Everything at the DWP, at least in Universal Credit, is think circa 2018 corporate web design. Done on the cheap. I remember doing my training. They had a fake street. And the person that, whoever it was that came up with the idea for the fake street name, probably had a very sensible chuckle to themselves because they called the fake street Universal Crescent. I'd prefer 123 Fake Street 2. I can only remember 2 of the fake names there. There was Griselda and there was Algernon when I was doing my training. I am glad I did my training when I did, though. Because it's after they became aware that mental health is a thing for their employees as well as their claimants. Also, there's a very good tell as to how new a work coach is, or any employee at the department, actually. If they call claimants customers, they've been there a bloody long time. If they call claimants claimants, then they're fairly new. Not too much has changed. Claimant is a more accurate word. I don't know why a lot of them went for customer. Oh, interesting. In the 12 or so years between us there, Kanbei, they changed their mind and went back to claimants. I've messed up my shop there and bought far too many calcium, far too many protein. Welcome in, Little McMill. I hope you're doing very well today. We are is this run number 3 of the day? I think it's run number 3. Exactly, how the fuck are you customers? I've just had a call from... What place is that? From France, come through on my phone. Who the fuck is trying to contact me from France, of all places? The aunts in France who stay mainly on the plants. Macron's offering me the PM job. Fair. We don't have any friggin' heels left. Buy some super potions. I'm just gonna have a quick search of this number. Nope, there's nothing on there about who the hell that is. But je ne parle pas français. Could be Sarkozy wanting bailing out. I remember actually, in year 8, we got talking about France in one of my history lessons, and for some reason, to a bunch of 12 and 13-year-olds, The history teacher forgot the French president's name and just went, oh, that fucking idiot from France, about him. Oui, Ryu. Je ne comprends pas. That is true, spoofing is easier now, but why would you spoof an arbitrary French number? I don't speak French because I was taught in the British schooling system. Yeah, it's true that I don't understand French. It is not unfair to say that in the UK, not only are we not forced to speak another language, because the de facto language, at least of most of the internet, is English. And on top of that, the way schools teach languages, it's not exactly conducive to a positive learning experience. This isn't Claire. Well, fuck. Dragon Breath is not a one-shot. Big, giant fuck sticks. Let's at least try and see, Claire. We've maxed out our stat experience as well with the vitamins. Fuck me, that does a lot of damage. $33 points for Arcanine. I don't even think Sunny Day would have been the call, honestly. Dragon Breath was a good idea. Without level cap, Dragon Breath would have definitely been the play. Trouble there is, we were getting screwed over by Surf, but we'd have been paralysed anyway by the next Dragonair. And then one of those Dragonair knows Surf. And if not, it knows Thunderbolt, which would be neutral. Right now, Ninetales is next in the list, but we've just done a fire type. So I am going to shift Ninetales down ever so slightly. Because I feel like the Ninetales run is just going to be the Arcanine run. So I reckon we'll do T-Tar next out of the gift queue. I think T-Tar has a very big learn set as well. When the Q works, Q is my favourite letter. We'll have to see when we get to the learn set what moves we decide. Gemma, I believe you picked this one, so if you have a nickname for the Tyranitar, please do let me know. Should we go for Zilla so we don't get any copyright infringement? Because Zilla can be anything, surely. Ooh, now that is a nice big learn set. That is a lot of choice. So let's think about it logically and logistically. Ice Beam is going to be brilliant overall, because that's answers for Scyther, all of Falkner. It gives us pretty much guaranteed Lance. Combine that with Thunderbolt. I think we could be onto a winner there. And then definitely Earthquake, because it's our strongest physical move. Chuck and Bruno is the question. We can have Thunderbolts for Chuck. Because we don't have any flying and we don't have any psychic moves, do we? So then we're looking at getting into flinch territory. I wish Dragon Dance was in. Dragon Dance would be fantastic. Yep, Dragon Dance is Generation 3. There's no move in Gen 2 that raises 2 different stats. Barring Ancient Power, which calls a completely different routine. Do we go risky here and sack Thunderbolt for Rock Slide? Because that would be base 100 power with stab. Getting surf is weird. I'm absolutely 100% committed to Ice Beam and Earthquake. I know that much. With Ice and Ground, you can hit everything for neutral damage. Stab Crunch could be a good shout. Because that's 120. So super effective 240. Resisted still 60. He has plenty of neutral 60 moves. Do we try Earthquake, Ice Beam, Crunch, and Rock Slide? It's a bit of a mishmash of moves. But it could work. I do just want to check something. So, ground, rock, ice, dark. I coded this little type checker. And with ground, rock, ice, and dark, we will hit everything for at least neutral damage. So it's only these type combinations that I've highlighted that we will hit neutrally there. Everything else will have a super effective move at either 2 times or 4 times. I think that little script that I coded could come in very handy for these runs. Also, last calls for the queue. If you either want to get your free one, or if you have claimed a free one and you want to do another 100 bits minimum super chat, now is the time to do it, because that queue will be closing at the end of this stream. You've got 3 in the queue, Cambe. You are good. I will also put Salamence in the queue because you did super chat £20 yesterday. And that was very, very kind of you, so that's the least I can do. In fact, I think Salamence could be fun afterwards. £20 of sterling. £20 of cash money moolah. Wonga. Readies. Bread. Dough. Water's one of the few types that we only hit neutral. I'm just now seeing how many words for money I can think of. You dropped your scamulet coin. Oh dear. The new ones have Charles on them. The old ones still have good old Queen face on her. Dosh, that's another one. 2 points. Readies. I feel like what we're doing now is just a simulation of 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning back in the mid-2000s on late night ITV and Channel 5 and the other shows, and the other channels, where the presenters have run out of anything to say. So they're just trying to think of ways to tell people they can win money by calling a premium rate line and not getting through to the studio. Had a dream about one of those channels once. They'd called it a fistful of fivers. And the gimmick was that when somebody won, the presenter had to then delve into a box and try and grab a fistful of fivers. And that was the amount of money the caller would receive. Yeah, most money still is Lizzie. Elizabeth was the Queen. You're not wrong. She was a queen for multiple generations. Like spanning all the way back from, what was it, 1952? To 2022? 70 years. An entire lifetime. Her ubiquity as the Queen is very much something that is universal across at least most of the Anglophone world. She was the longest serving monarch in the UK. I remember they tried to interview her when she surpassed Queen Victoria, and I believe she said it wasn't any cause for celebration because you should never celebrate the death of somebody else. Oh, fuck, that's not a one-shot. RNG saved us there. Second longest serving in the world sounds about right. I had visions of Faulkner claiming a victory too, Kanbei. I really did not want to go home with a duck with this Pokemon, though. We'll say ciao for now to Sage Chow. An awful lot of stuff had to be updated when Elizabeth passed. Louis XIV, longest by 2 years. I mean, the fact that there's only 2 years in between reigns does show just how long Elizabeth was on the throne. I feel like Elizabeth had better public reception than Charles does as well. A lot of people do not like Charles. I don't really have an opinion of him either way. I've fucking done it again and forgotten the Togepi egg. And it's because I go up Sprout Tower that by the time I've gone up Sprout Tower, I forget. I know exactly what you're talking about, Gemma, and it's a very good idea not to elaborate further, shall we say. Yeah, a lot of people are apathetic towards Charles. Is the 16th the one who lost his head, quite literally? I mean, you've already seen the state of my history teachers with what I said earlier. So, history is not my forte. I wonder whether it's a generational thing of, like, skipping generations and Charles is the unpopular monarch in the popular monarch sandwich that is William and Elizabeth. I do feel like a lot of people saw Charles as very uppity. I think it's only natural that Charles won't be... He definitely won't be king as long as Elizabeth. I mean, if he makes it to 140 odd, at that point, I think we should all just admire his longevity and staying power. That would not surprise me, seeing as most kings probably didn't make it to the age Charles was when he ascended to the throne. Yeah, I think there is definitely an argument that the royal family is outdated, but people saw Elizabeth as... She was sort of the world's grandma, or at least the Commonwealth's grandma. Oh, the way the media acted. I wouldn't even say it was Elizabeth that was the most over the top, it was Philip. The thing that offends me the most about the royal family is the fact that they flaunt their life of luxury when there are so many people living in poverty in this country. The learn set is very, very good for Tyranitar. Yeah, even when the Queen had her Annus Horribilis in the, I think it was 1992. Even then, her personal popularity stayed quite high. I think the only person who surpassed her popularity in those circles was Diana. My grandmother actually had a mural of, well, not a mural because that's painted on the wall. A very large framed portrait of Diana hanging up at home. Very much feel what you're saying there, Gemma. I think the backstory behind that painting is one of my uncles was an artist. And so, obviously, familial connection and free artwork. And my gran was a boomer. And she loved a good bit of artwork she could hang on the wall. There was virtually no wall untouched in that house. There's a portrait of me hanging up in the hallway. Looked nothing like me, though. The day I'm made king is the day hell freezes over. I would make a horrible monarch. I've got 0 airs and graces. I come from a... Well, actually, that's a lie. My great-great-grandparents were from money, but it was on the mother's side, and back then, the girls did not get inheritance from their fathers because they were expected to marry into the same class. But my great-great-grandmother married what would have been known back then as a pauper. People on benefits are always a very, very good scapegoat to distract from real solutions. It's the old adage of making somebody blame somebody else, often somebody less fortunate than them. Just do a loop-de-loop there for no good reason. Yeah, I've been on benefits. And it is fucking tough. You know, actually, out of the cohort, when I joined the department, only 3 of us came from Universal Credit into the work coach role. And us 3 were the best 3 on that team. Because we had lived experience. We knew what would be helpful and what wouldn't. You have to get permission to leave the country if you're on benefits. Exactly, if you're on benefits, I don't think this, but a lot of the general population thinks you should live the Dickensian life. And yes, there are a very, very, very small handful of people who choose to be on benefits. But why go after everybody who is on benefits? Because Zoe down the road has decided a life on benefits is easier for her than working. We're getting very deep today, aren't we? We've not had a stream like this in a while, where I've got my little soapbox. I was brought up by my gran to always believe that sharing is caring. I'm glad you're down to bi-weekly appointments, Gemma. I would have hoped in the last 100 or so years that we'd have moved on as a society to just treat everyone as a human being. I don't think it needs to be boiled down to anything other than that. Every single person you see on the street, see in the job centre, in the hospital, in the office, everywhere, they're all a person with a real lived life. And everybody deserves the fairest shot at anything in life. There we go, Whitney done. 14 points acquired. If I ever become king of the world, I'm going to make sure that everybody has more than enough. And I'm not above a bit of nepotism, so I'd make sure that everybody in here has more than enough. During the pandemic, and especially afterwards, the amount of people going on to Universal Credit meant that job centres filled out to the brim, and a lot of people got assigned job centres that were the only ones near that had the staff available. I'd like to think that if by some miracle I became wealthy, or even just comfortable, I would want to share all of my wealth and gains. A lot of the trouble with the news is they know who pays attention to the news. So they target stories around those people. And they create outrage around things affecting those people. But it's a self-perpetuating cycle. Because if the things being reported in the news don't affect you, then why are you going to pay attention to them? We can't be at another hour already. When I was at the job centre working, I tried to have my claimants come in every 2 to 3 weeks at most. One thing that does annoy me actually is higher education in this country as well. And the fact that you have to go to very specific places to take courses in specific things. Like, I'm from the north. I would have loved to have got into meteorology. But my two choices were Exeter and Reading. And as somebody who is very deeply on the autistic spectrum, especially when it comes to a lot of day-to-day living things, there's absolutely no way I would be able to live in Exeter or Reading. We are parafused and we are getting sonic boomed. Oh, nuts. That was grossly unfair for Tyranitar there. We will have to come back to that another time. How many was that? 14 points. That one was just duff RNG. The RNG has not been on our side today, has it? I do like, though, the rapid-fire way we're able to do these runs. Because we're not going to the very, very end. We're able to get more runs in per stream. And because we're not on a clock, it also means that I don't have to time the streams around the end point of the run. Right, so we've got Steelix, Aerodactyl, Ninetales, Omastar, Arbok, Mewtwo, Starmie, and Meganium in the queue. Are there any of those we're feeling more than any other? If you haven't got a Pokemon in the queue, and you haven't had a Pokemon in the queue today, you can use !addmon to add a Pokemon in the queue. I'm just going to swap to the Challenge Run leaderboard, or should I say the Classic Run leaderboard, for a quick second. I need the loo. And we are back. I've figured out the issue when it comes to the admon not working. I have a check to see if we're playing Pokemon Crystal. And obviously if we're not playing Pokemon Crystal and we've swapped games and GameHook's not loaded, we don't know that Pokemon Crystal's loaded. Also, can we have a nickname for Meganium, please? Trash salad, you're not wrong. AOI. No, not AO. And then we have a full stop at the end. Right, now I hear you've got a learn set. I did read that. I dread to think what this learn set is. Welcome in, Matthias. Nidoking did fairly well, I think. Let's have a look on the leaderboard. Second place. I have updated the scoring ever so slightly. I'll go through the scoring again. To add a little bit of distinction between the Pokemon, especially for the pre-recorded videos, I've decided to update the scoring to what we see on screen now. So 1 point for the plotline trainers, 2 points per rival battle, 3 points for all of the Johto gyms, 3 points for most of the Kanto gyms, 4 points per Elite Four, 5 points for Blue, and then 10 points for Lance and Red. Swap Giga Drain and Razor Leaf around, and that would be the learn set I'd go for. I think Razor Leaf's possibly more helpful. My other logic with adding more points into the equation is it gives us a better idea of exactly where we went down. Swords Dance is definitely allowed. Let's have a look now. So what are our attacking types here that we're thinking? Grass, rock, and ground. Right, so the only type combination that will not be hit for neutral damage with that is Grass Fighting. And then we've got quite a few types from, if I can click the N in normal, all of these type combinations are going to be hit for neutral damage. And then every other type combination in the game, and quite a few not in the game as well, will be hit for 2 times damage. Exactly, Breloom does not exist yet in Generation 2. We get rid of rock and we go for normal there. Grass Ghost, Flying Steel, and Bug Ghost are the only resisted or immune type combos. Do we need the Omni Boost if we got Swords Dance though? Because we've got 80 speed, we should be outspeeding Zard and other Zard. Yeah, ostensibly just Skarmory, and we don't see Skarmory in this run. Ancient Power's also only 5 power points, so I'll constantly be needing to heal for PP purposes there. Because we can go and body slam straight away against the Spearow in Falkner's gym. We can set up against the Pidgey for Falkner himself. The rival never leads with his fire type. And we do have quite a lot of bulk. So I think I am going to go for Body Slam. Of course, we do have Earthquake as well for the fire types. Where's Body Slam on this list? I can't see it. Oh, it's up top. If we take a reset, I will definitely try Ancient Power in place of Body Slam next time. But that's part of the fun of this challenge. We do a lot of experimentation. And I mentioned it earlier on in the stream, but what's likely to happen is I will use the streams as info gathering missions for then doing runs in my own time, as it were, i.e. off stream. No, that's not what I wanted to do there. To get the pre-recorded videos done. You put a full stop there, therefore the name has the full stop. That's how it works. Just means we're getting some double punctuation action. I'll tell you one thing that is a bit of a bugbear of mine. People who put a space between the end of a word and punctuation. The full stop is definitely an integral part of his character. The full stop means he doesn't take any shit from anyone. Exactly like that can be. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Oh, I sing your praises and then some, Matthias, in the next couple of videos. This is, and it's not just because it's new, it's my favourite way to play Pokemon Crystal. I'm not French, therefore it's not correct. Though I do like the French version of quotation marks. I always appreciate a good use of the correct it's. And, by the way, predictions. How many points do we think Meganium's going to get? Oui, oui, le chevron. La piscine, c'est sur le droit. Je suis allé à la pêche. J'aime faire du bricolage. That's the other thing, actually, about... We're going back to teaching foreign languages in schools. When am I ever going to say I like doing DIY? I'm going to go and fish and the swimming pool is on the left. Le chat c'est sous la table et le souris c'est sur la table. It would be a hell of a lot more useful if teaching was surrounded about conversational languages. I've been wanting to learn BSL. Because there are times, especially with my brain, when I'm completely overwhelmed, that I just lose the ability to speak. But the fact that you got along just fine in Mexico without having to speak Mexiconian is brilliant. Le Bouffe Bibliothèque. I wasn't proving a point, but let's just pretend I was. Yes, I know they speak Spanish in Mexico. I just wanted an excuse to say Mexiconian because it's fun. Yes, I do speak Canadian in Canada. Oh, Gemma, thank you for gifting a membership to Chad. Chad, if you're still about, please do say thank you to Gemma. If you watch the Jewellery Channel, Cambe, Black Friday is every Friday of the year. Oh, they'll do early Black Friday on the Jewellery Channel on a Wednesday. Oh, Ghastly, can you just piss off? Grey Wednesday is what happens when we look outdoors here in the UK on any given Wednesday. I need to get some fresh RAM at some point. I don't know which part of the UK you're in, Alajango, but it was not sunny here today. Then I'm on the west coast, so when is it sunny? It's dark already, or going dark already here now. I despise the late October clock change. You still have a blue sky, you jammy git. It's cold, rainy and grey here, like it was yesterday, like it will be tomorrow. Like it will be the day after. A jammy git is a sense of being. I know you're from the subtropics, Ryu. It would not be a surprise to me if you had cloud. I cannot deal with the dark months. There's no such thing as a filthy American. I'll tell you one thing that I don't and will never get about the United States, and that's the absolute sense of scale of the country. And the fact you can travel for days on end and still be in the same country is mind-blowing to me. Yeah, everything, at least from what I've seen about the United States, everything is built to a much larger scale than across this side of the pond. Kanbei, that's your own fault for going via the M6. The big difference, at least from Russia, is that there's a large part of central Russia that does not have many people at all. It is exactly the same in Canada, though. There are a lot of places in Canada very spread apart. The M6 is the equivalent of a freeway. It's a motorway. Restricted access road. See, I don't drive, so I don't know what my nearest motorway is these days. Back when I lived at home, it was the M63 that became the M60. When they renumbered it for no good reason. The M6 is an abomination. Although you do have T-based services, which are arguably one of the best places to eat in the UK, regardless of their status as a service station. T-Bay has one of the best bread and bakery sections I've ever been to. I feel very privileged to have always lived in a place, actually borrowing for a couple of years in a bit of a dump in Manchester. I've lived mostly in places where I don't need to drive. Like where I am now, there's a train station very close to me. Because after living in my old place, I will always live right next to a train station. And there are buses every 10 minutes. I love your company, Chad. So I'm glad we both have something we love. Meganium is doing very well. I read that as I love this channel anyway. My dyslexia auto-corrected for you. The only thing I don't like about living near to the trains is I'm not on a fully electric line. So there are some loud diesel fuckers that go past every so often. I also still live in Lancashire, and Lancashire do this deal where if you get the bus after 7 PM or on a Sunday, you get charged £1 for a single journey. Anywhere to anywhere, just £1. I fucked up there. I'm going to rewind. I meant Swords Dance. I was too busy thinking about buses. I'm very glad to live in an area where that scheme has at least continued for now. Because I get the Sunday bus to Lidl to get the cheap bakery stuff there as well. I'm such a fucking cheapskate, I know. Right, there is a chance we go down at this battle. I hope we don't, but there is a chance. Oh, you work for Lidl? I bloody love Lidl. I was saying earlier, I much prefer Lidl over Aldi. In a lot of parts of the country, they're already £3 per journey. Which at that point, that cap is higher than a lot of the fares used to be. If the bakery in Lidl in the US is anything like it is here in Europe, then everyone should get their asses down there at all times. Also, random piss duck appeared there. I swear, some of the bakery stuff at Lidl is so good that you think it must be laced with something like crack. Because of just how delicious it all is and moreish. Totally agree. Lidl is one of the very few places outside of your bog standard bakeries where fresh bread is worth it. Well, that's a bit shite, isn't it? Like, you work for a company which arguably has one of the best bakery chains in the world. And you can't even friggin' shop there. Should totally get sponsored by Lidl now. For all the praises I've been singing over the last... How long has it been? 3.5 hours? See, I'm not a big fan of Aldi. I've got a bread maker as well. But it's such high effort a lot of the time. They are sponsoring Kim through Red Thunder. When she came over to visit, the look of pure delight on her face when she realised she could get the exact same energy drinks over here as in the Netherlands was fantastic. A lot of shops, actually, come to think about it, Gemma, a lot of shops have been poo-pooing their regular crusty stuff in favour of sourdough. I like crusty bread as well. I've got off the full fat Coke now, Cambe. Started to notice that my sugar intake was a little bit too high. So I have replaced it with the Beps Max. That does not surprise me at all that Lidl sells their bakery stuff for a loss. I mean, the bakery where me and my other half go with Lidl, the deals you get are ludicrous, featuring Mystical. Now I am going to have to run another advert break on Twitch, so we're going to take a break in the action and just have a little yap for 3 minutes. Twitch, we are about to do the capitalisms. Please do adjust your headphones if you need to, and we'll be back there in 3 minutes' time. That's down to 20% now on my app, Cambe. I've just checked. Oh, my microphone is having issues today. I think, there is a chance that Meganium could be our strongest performing starter. Thank you for popping in, Matthias. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day at work. And I'm sure we'll catch up very, very soon. I will be live over the weekend. Yeah, I do think that Meganium has a chance of being our best performing starter out of the Johto ones. Because I reckon all we'll need is a single Swords Dance to get through Claire's Pokémon. And that will obviously then mean that we have a spare Purse Cure Berry if we need it later on in the run. Will could be problematic, maybe. Yeah, Bitterberry Swords Dance is my idea there, because we can get 2 Bitterberries. We can get the one that we have next to Violet. And then there's also a Bitterberry at the Lake of Rage. Well, Route 43, 42. 43. Just north of Mahogany. It's the tree just over the lake. Well, the pond, I suppose, if we've got a lake to the north. Also, what are we thinking of the new scoring system? Do we think it's working? Do I think having the extra distinction between the Mons is a good idea? I was considering increasing the points for Rival 2, but I thought the amount of coverage we have is sufficient enough that we don't really have that many issues at Rival 2 compared to in a classic challenge run. There was something I forgot to do. We are back on Twitch, by the way. Welcome back, everybody. That joke was a bit corny, Ryu. I'm gonna have to start charging for these bad puns. Another way to earn some bread. British slang. Well, Whitney just had all kinds of stuff go wrong for her there, didn't she? I'm glad you thought it was amazing. I do not think I can think of any more. Though I will field another pun just in case. No, we are not just going into talking in puns for the rest of the stream. Yeah, the RNG was on our side for once. Big hammer time. I am ploughing this joke into the ground. If I make any more, though, I'm going to come a cropper. Oh, it's been one of those streams today, hasn't it? Where, because I am just that overtired, there's nothing off limits, it seems. I don't know why, but I have a phenomenal skill at making knife-based puns. Quite sharp like that. In fact, if I was a superhero, my name would be the Capes Crew Blader. They are a cut above the rest. Never a dull moment. Now, if only I could find someone to put up with them. Then they could be my lawfully wedded knife. I feel sorry for anybody watching the VOD at this point as well. We're in the 2020s, why not have multiple people? I do need to get a handle on them. Venonat, time and place, please. Noctowl, same goes to you. We are leaving the Cake of Rage now. We can get the beta elixir without any time pressure at all. I am still doing a lot of speedrunning movement. And realising I don't have to. Oh, piss. Wasn't paying attention. I am starting to suffer a little bit from the old fatigue now. Which isn't surprising. We've been live, what, 3 and a bit hours? 3 hours and 40 minutes. Jeez. Didn't realise it had been that long already. And considering I've been up since 2:30 this morning, is it any wonder I'm starting to get tired? Achievement unlocked, barely knows her. Honestly, Meganium is not the take forever Pokemon. It's a very similar strat to Zangoose. Yeah, I started at 1 today. Only a couple more streams where we're starting at the awkward time. Hopefully my sleep will align better as well. I really want to lie in. I've been awake at 2:30 in the morning, 3 days on the bounce. And you all know I'm naturally a night owl, so it's been a bit grim. I pressed Earthquake, I pressed up there. Time flies when you're chatting as much shite as we have today. This gym needs some Mischievous, let alone more. Any Mischievous will do. I'm glad the afternoon at work went by a little bit quicker. Whilst you're redesigning the gym, Ryu, if you could get rid of the death trap on the floor, I'd appreciate it. Like there have been many a broken leg. Since falling down the floor. Death Trap stays fair. We've already got the mint berry. Let's get the nugget. Let's reunite the married couple. I don't know why you're insisting on giving Chuck a Hitmontop. It's not a good Pokemon. So you're moving the goalposts there. Level 27 acquired. Roughly halfway to the next level cap. That is true, Gen 2 did not introduce many fighting types at all. And one of them they introduced was a child. Annihilate is Gen 9. Introduced in Scarlet and Violet along with Fridge Giraffe. Yep, Gen 7 was Alola. Gen 1's Kanto, Gen 2 is Johto, obviously. Gen 3's Hoenn, Gen 4's Sinnoh, 5 is Unova. 6 is Kalos, 7's Alola, 8 is something. And 9 is Paldea. Annihilate was not from Legends Arceus. I know it's Galar, I just don't respect that region. It's the first time I've seen Comet Punch do some damage in a while. They really did do our country dirty, didn't they? Galar is the least inspired region of them all. I feel like Galar was initially being designed for 3DS or some other handheld, and it got moved to Switch very, very quickly. RNG is on our side there as well. We get the Storm badge. We get the air balloon, and now we will go and do a little bit of housekeeping before wrapping up for today. Yeah, the world area was just a bunch of grass with weird weather patterns dumped next to more grass with even weirder weather patterns. I like to think it's missing, though, flying us around. Can you even really call the Glimwood Tangle a dungeon? No, we'll keep hold of the full heal, actually. Might come in handy. Exactly, it's just a themed route like the caves. The pacing was rough in Galar. I really don't know what they were thinking when they made it. Some of the new Pokémon designs weren't bad. Let's take on Gyarados and then we will call it for the day. Because I don't have it in me to do the rocket section again today. It was like in Let's Go, but somehow nerfed, because they didn't generate the Pokemon itself until you encountered it. But yeah, I think for today, we are out of time. Been going for just shy of 4 hours. Quite a long stream by my standards lately. We have videos coming out for the rest of the week. It was very productive, seeing as we started with Mischievous. We've done a couple of other runs in between, and we are on Meganium now. This is your very, very, very last chance to add a Pokemon to the queue. If you do want to add it, speak now or forever hold your peace, ostensibly. Because the queue is going to close for a little while. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to Kanbei for the couple of super chats and to Gemma for gifting a membership to Chad. I will be back live over the weekend at sometime, someplace. We've got videos tomorrow and Friday. We've got Darkrai coming out tomorrow. We've got Gengar's SuperMON Challenge on Friday. And until then, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll catch you all very, very soon. And of course, thank you to Mobile Gaming Chronicles for the bits over on Twitch. They didn't show up in my feed.